First and foremost, corruption is evident. It has been here. It is going to always to be here. I don't think in my lifetime that anybody can eradicate corruption. However, we have also taken on not only His Better Globe eradicating poverty, because we started with eradicating poverty, but clearly enough, like you mentioned, corruption is there in our way of eradicating poverty. So we said to ourselves, well, there's no way we can eradicate poverty without also have something put in place to eradicate corruption, because these are like brothers and sisters. They live together and thrive on each other. So in fact, we have given Child Africa, the NGO, the job of fighting corruption. But before I go into that, let me just very briefly say that we are here and have been in Kenya all these years without being charged with corruption or having anything to do with corruption. We have a standing in the governmental track record that is very good, and that means we have not let anybody corrupt us. We might have been waiting, like we did for the first bulldozer. I think we waited for 5 months, maybe something like that. We could have gotten in a week if we had paid corrupt people all the way, that the 5 guys who want to stamp it. We didn't. So we took the time instead. It cost us money, it cost us things, but we cannot take on to be corrupt ourselves. That is why we have integrity as our main goal. Now, can I just take Child? I just want to say also that Child Africa is an NGO, and we believe, my wife and me, that in order to fight corruption and eradicate corruption, one child at a time, you have to start when they are 3 years old, and you start building character of champions, being strong individuals. So when they grow up and know what corruption is all about, they will be champions of integrity, saying no, thank you to corruption. And I believe that the corrupt people today, the only one who can do something with that is people from the government. The government must put them in prison, give them, take them and hang them out to dry, so people can see that they are captured. That's what they can do to help it. But they will never get rid of it, due to the fact that the people who are corrupt today, they will die corrupt. And the next generation probably also. But then what I say, then what we call a Bingwa generation, that's a champion, called Bingwa in Swahili. That generation of kids, where we train them, we are getting really good on that. And we see the result already. When they become 20 and 30 years old, they will be champions of integrity and will be able to fight corruption. We can never eradicate poverty and corruption totally. Nobody can. However, we can eradicate poverty one family at a time, and give us time, it will be no families left who is not out of poverty. And the same thing with corruption. When we can get all it into children all over Africa and install integrity in them, corruption will be less and less and less, and eventually getting out of the African continent. So that is my belief, and that is what we live for. And I hope to see that one day, some years before I die, that the president stand up and say that I am a Bingwa president.